Dallas Cowboys, and I want to give a major shout out to Mike Tag. Keep bringing the hype to the Cowboys Nation. We love and appreciate it. Now, can you dig it? Let's get it.
What's up, Cowboys Nation?
What is up? It's your boy Mike Tag. We got Kelly K9. You know, we were thinking about it. I hope you guys had a good week so far, but we were thinking about it. It's a slow time, right? Drafts coming up. We've got to figure, how much more draft talk can we really possibly do? So we're gonna try something different. I put a link in the comments. You guys can, if you're afraid to call or don't like calling, you have that option. All you gotta do is click it from your phone or computer. It'll put you in the background. We'll get you on the show. We'll talk a little bit, have some fun, or we'll put the number out and you guys can also call. So we got two ways to get involved. We just want to kick it and maybe just have a nice, relaxing show and have a good time. But before I do that, Kelly, what's up, my man? And I know you got to get some stuff off your chest, so the platform is yours.
Well, first of all, it is good to be back in here and on this Thursday, chopping it up with some of Cowboys Nation. But look, I had to get something off my chest, man, because I keep hearing about some chatter from a certain fan base that we know all up in filthy. We know who this is. We know who we're talking about. And so the question that I had posed to me and that somebody told me was that they said, would you not have been happy about the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl and basically in the same situation the Eagles? Because they said we can't really talk about the Philadelphia Eagles because they've been to a Super Bowl and they won a Super Bowl, right? And I started thinking to myself, and I thought, no. Because, Mike, let me ask you a question. Is it hard to get to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Hard to get to the Super Bowl?
Damn
right?
hard to get to the Super Bowl. We can attest that.
It's really hard to get to the Super Bowl. It's really hard to do it even one time.
Yeah.
Let alone do it multiple times. So when you get to the Super Bowl, you want to win the Super Bowl. You don't want to just be there and be like, well, my guy got us. We got to the Super Bowl. Because what is that? Congratulations, you get a participation trophy. But what does that mean in the long run for you and your franchise? It don't mean shit. Because if you didn't win anything, then what do you got to brag about? You went to the Super Bowl. Who gives a shit? Because if the Dallas Cowboys get to the Super Bowl, I want us to win the Super Bowl. And for all these people that are talking about, man, we'd love for the Cowboys. You'd love it if the Cowboys was in a Super Bowl. Yeah, I sure would. But would I be happy if they went and lost? The answer is a resounding no.
It'd be
and the only
devastating.
people and the only fan base that is okay with participation trophies is the goddamn Philadelphia Eagles. I bet you they got a participation trophy right next to the fucking Super Bowl trophy they won in 2017. So you know what? Don't come to me with that bullshit because that's a participation trophy. And hell no, I don't want the fucking Cowboys to go to the Super Bowl and lose it. If we get to the Super Bowl, we win Super Bowls.
That's the way it happens. Now I was actually in Philly and they have division title banners. I didn't know they made those, but they have division title banners.
Yeah, and I mean, they celebrate shit like that. They make fucking T-shirts when they play the Dallas Cowboys, man. But look, I mean, I had to put these suckers in their place, man, because they just, don't bring that bullshit my way.
No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes he's going to be a problem. We were actually just talking about that. How
that's right.
It's really with all these quarterbacks. It's Patrick Mahomes and everyone else. He's on this level, and you could probably throw the next 10 quarterbacks in a hat, pick them out, and they're all about the same. But hey, so Kelly, we got someone who came in. We got Chris.
Let's go, baby! Right off the bat, let's bring him
now. We'll see if this backfires on us. But right now, we got Chris. What's up, man? How's it going?
Hey, what's up, man?
Good.
What's up, Cowboys Nation?
Well, you are here in the cave. You're the first one. This is an experiment that we've been trying. So hopefully we got it. So how you feeling about the Cowboys, the offseason, all that kind of stuff?
Oh,
you feeling good or are you still concerned?
I'm loving this offseason, man. I got to say, I'm, proud of Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy actually going to get weapons, Like, going out there trading for Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore instead of sitting back and relying on like last year getting rid of Amari and then relying on someone coming Michael Gallup coming off of an ACL.
Yep.
I think this is our best year, in my opinion, to go win a Super Bowl, especially with Mike McCarthy and his play calling. I have full faith in his play calling and a West Coast offense. I don't think we've ever had a West Coast offense in a very long time. I know Jason Garrett didn't run that, or Kellen Moore definitely didn't run that. So I am very excited. I really think we can make the Super Bowl and win it. I know we say it's our year every year, and but we're not the only ones that's saying that. Every contending team is saying we can win the Super Bowl. So it's always a joke on us, but when another team does it, it's a problem. So, but I'm really excited for this next upcoming year.
Yeah, man, I agree. I think that's the sentiment with a lot of Cowboys fans right now is that, it's not been an off season where we've been sitting around, where we've just been, twiddling our thumbs and kicking our tires on a guy that's been on 5 different teams in 5 different years. You know what I mean? They went out and they got playmakers, and not only get playmakers, they got guys that fit the system. So, I mean,
exactly.
It's a good thing for the Cowboys front
And
office. And
the other thing I want to add is it's not like we didn't have good receivers. Most part of it was the scheme. We still have a Semi Fihoko that we still have to see. A Jalen Tolbert, another receiver we're going to get in the draft. We're going to get better through this draft. We are great at drafting.
Yeah, that's the thing that you got to give them credit for that. They've drafted good over the last several years.
Yeah,
like decades.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get, in my opinion, I think either at least an offensive line or a running back. That's only if Bijan or Gibbs is there. I understand Gibbs is more of kind of like a Tony Pollard type, but I would say maybe from what I see is a better pass catcher, kind of like an Alvin Kamara type. But either of those guys in the first round, I would not be mad at, and then we can go get a guard or a tackle, second round, and then look at corners or who else? Probably D line,
yeah,
D tackle. We need a better run stopper because we can't just have one in what's his name that we just re-signed. But yeah, we need another D tackle for sure. Not saying that our other defensive tackles are bad, but a lot of them are more pass rushers. So we need more people that can stop that run.
Yeah, we definitely could get somebody in there with D tackle, get some beef up in the middle. We brought back Jonathan Hankins. He'll help, but I mean, we could use some youth in there. Hankins has been around for a while as an older guy, so obviously we used to beef up that D line. We got to build in the trenches though, offensive line and D line. If we can build them up in the trenches, I mean, that's what's going to win. You got a dominant O line and a dominant defensive line.
Yeah,
great things will happen.
Yeah,
and we definitely need to beef up on that D line, especially. We need a lot of aggressiveness, especially if we're going to see 49ers in the playoffs. I know we're playing them the regular season. I really think that since we got this addition at wide receiver and this new offensive scheme, that we could beat them in the playoffs. They're not unbeatable. Like a lot of it was play calling for the part of it. Not saying anything was Dak's fault. He definitely struggled, but part of that was Kellen Moore.
Yeah,
last year in that playoff game.
Absolutely.
So just look at that last play. Do you see Andy Reid putting their running back at center? No, you don't see that. Did you see Mike McCarthy do that in Green Bay? No, it's a no identity offense. And people want to act like, oh, they were top 5, but they were inconsistent. One game they'll play their lights out against the Eagles the second time, and then the next we'll play the freaking Jacksonville Jaguars and not know what we're doing on offense.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing I always said about the offense. It was any Cowboy fan who watched it week in and week out, you knew this wasn't a top offense in the league.
And all other fan bases are just gonna just blow it off as if it was like it doesn't matter, but it does. It just does. But haters are gonna hate. But
we love to hate, man. We love to hate. But Chris, we got another one. We want to jump in. We want to try and get as many people. But brother,
thanks for coming on, Chris. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah. All right, man. We'll see you. Scott, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, Mike?
Oh, man. You're here in the cave with Tag and K9. How you feeling today?
God, I want to say it's not a Cowboys cave. This is a Cowboys Coliseum right here. I look at what you guys got going in the background, and finally got myself on the phone to give you guys a call. So enough of this Twitter stuff. And hey, when Kelly was going off at the onset about the Philadelphia folks, he had a great tweet today. He's telling everybody on Twitter, hey, if it comes up, just walk yourself to a mirror and state these 7 words, right, Kelly?
That's right. At least I'm not a Philadelphia
Eagle fan.
That's right. That's right. I mean, I can't imagine what it feels like to wake up every day, man, and have to look up to the Dallas Cowboys and compare every single player on your roster to players on the Cowboys, to be chasing the 5 Super Bowls that the Cowboys have, and have the audacity to sit there and talk about our Super Bowl trophies and call them old, because last time I checked in any fucking math, whether it's here or in Japan, 5 is greater than 1.
Always.
Always.
Yeah, I'm not, I've been not really good in the math department ever in my life, but I know that one. 5's a little bit better than 1.
That's right. That's right.
Listen, I need to state for your listening audience out there, it's taken me a while to get in and talk to these guys, and I promised them I was going to, only because if you're not on Twitter and you're not following Mike Tag and you're not following Kelly and you're not following our guy Nick and Talk and all those guys that are out there, Cowboy fans, there is rich blood out there of people that can give us content and information. And I really have tuned out everything on the local level, certainly on the national level.
Yeah.
I can't take that stuff anymore. Even the local guys, there's guys here locally in Dallas that I respect, but I would much rather be a part of this movement that these guys got going on. And if you don't have them lined up on Twitter, and if you don't have them lined up on a weekly show, you need to put that into your routine, because this is top notch. I've told a lot of people about this. There are a lot of people jumping on board, and they can't wait to hear what these guys say. So look at me. I've inched it. I've gone Twitter to phone call. And the next thing I say is, I can't wait to meet these 2 boys at a tailgate party.
Well, that's what we got to do.
Yeah, there we go.
That's what we got to do.
There we go.
Hey, Scott, I appreciate it, man.
I know you guys got others. Let me ask you one thing.
Yep.
And I'll let the other people get in here, because this has been great. But I wanted to ask you guys about Gilly.
You there?
Who? Yes, I'm sorry. I'm starting to call him Stephon Gilmore, Gilly Balls, from here on out, because it has been a while since I've seen a free agent or anybody that we've picked up come in here and immediately express that they're happy and the desire to play for this team. And look what Gilmore does. He not only comes in here and states he wants to be around, he's also going to take 21 right after Zeke dumps, and he's going to roll with that number, which Prime ran around with it for a little while. And Cooks has got that same attitude too, which is kind of cool. He wanted to get himself to a place where he can compete. So I feel really good about those guys kind of leading the way for us. You guys have a great night. It was great seeing you. Good visiting with you.
All right, man. Hopefully we'll see you again, man. I appreciate it.
We get guys like Scott in here a little bit more. In my head, I'm gonna have trouble walking out the door. He's hyping up our ego and stuff here. But hey, let me just say about.
Let me just say real quick, Kelly, just so people know. So when we have a caller, you got to wait till the caller's done, because I know I had a caller coming in and I got him going on. So go ahead, Kelly. Say what you got to say.
No, I was just gonna say about Gilmore, man. I mean, he's the perfect fit for a Dan Quinn defense. So I was so excited about the fact that we added a corner of that caliber on the opposite side of Diggs. We saw what happened when Anthony Brown went down. It was not a good thing. We're rotating corners in.
Hey, what's up, man?
Bland is a guy who we'd like to play on the inside corner.
Good. Hey, I'm sorry I didn't get your name. Who's this?
We got a good thing with Gilmore.
Oh,
we got
hey,
Gilmore on the outside, Bland on the inside, and Diggs on the other side. So Cowboys Nation, buckle up. This defense going to be great. We're talking about maybe a no-fly zone part 2.
The background noise will get you. But I'm going to put you in now.
And I'm drinking on this whiskey, just y'all know, Cowboys Nation. This Toki whiskey is pretty good. I think that's how you pronounce that. But we got somebody else, Mike, lined up?
Yeah, we got Mark. What's up, man?
Mike.
What's going on, brother?
Hey, man. K9, what's happening, brother?
What's going on, Mark?
Hey, I'm just calling into the show, man. Just trying to say, hey, what's up, brothers?
No, well,
I
we
like what
appreciate it. We appreciate it. But how you feeling about the Cowboys offseason? We gotta get some business out of the way before we get the love fest.
Hey, I am honestly, I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm letting you know that I think Jerry did a good job in the off season picking up the pieces. I think just through the draft, we just need to grab. I think we need to go with a defensive lineman. Myself, that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've been saying it and I've said it several times. I say if we beef up the offensive line and beef up the defensive line, you'll see what can happen. Because look, hey, as much as I don't like the filthy fecals and I don't like to give them any kind of love, you did see that the way that they built that team was through the offensive line and defensive line. They had a great D line, they had a great O line, and that can carry a team and it can make a mediocre quarterback look great. Which is why I'm still not bought in on Hurts. Let him play with an O-line like Dak had this last couple of years where we shifting guys in and out. We got a fucking 50-year-old Jason Peters coming in playing left tackle and let him see what he looks like then. So, but the point is the line. I agree. You gotta deal with those lines and build up the lines, Mark. And I love that thinking. And I hope we can, a guy Kalijah Cansey out there for Pittsburgh at D tackle be a great pick at number 26 for the Cowboys.
Yeah, get nasty, man. Get some nasty guys up front.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think we need anything on offense anymore. I think we are set on offense. That's just me. I think once. Now, I'm sorry. I want us to bring Zeke back. I know that's a sore spot for everybody, but I don't think Pollard's going to be ready yet. I know we got the guy from KC, but I still say Zeke is still that man when we need him. I hope we can get him back cheap. That's just me. A lot of people let him go, but I think Zeke back.
Well, you got Malik Davis. You got Malik Davis who ran the ball pretty hard. Maybe
he ran. Yep,
from Florida.
Like
from Florida, got to show him love. But I think they need to draft a running back. I think they need to draft a running back at some point. I think they need to get a young running back. And if you bring Zeke, I'll take Zeke over Jones. I'll take Zeke over Jones if they sign.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not opposed to it, but I do think they need to get a younger guy in because, to your point, Pollard coming off an injury, we still don't know if he can carry the load. I always use the example, if you remember back when they gave Felix Jones all the carries. When they were splitting and then they did that, it was a disaster.
Yeah, what Felix out, man? He too many injuries, but like I say, I'm.
Did we lose you?
No, I'm here. I'm sorry. I've been a fan for years, so. But like I say, I think that I was very impressed this off season. So hopefully that transitions to Super Bowl to get that number 6, and then we can party on for number 7.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I love it, man. I appreciate you calling.
That's right, Mark. That's the attitude to have, baby. And I know you shelling out that money to Jerry Jones, them season tickets you be paying for, man. So, hey, props to you, man, for emptying out the wallet.
Yeah.
Oh, ain't no biggie, but definitely K9, you coming back this year. Don't worry. I got you. You and Shady will be back at A&T Stadium. Don't worry, I got you covered, brother.
All right, man. Well, hey, thanks for calling in the show, Mark, man. You know you're my dog, man. We appreciate you coming in, man, and chopping it up with us. And hey, man, here's the number 6, baby, this year. This is our year. I don't care what anybody says.
All right, take care. I'll see you, man.
Y'all take care. Later.
Bye.
Hey.
No, that's good. See, that's what it takes, a little breaking of the ice. And I apologize. I don't have a board op. So Kelly, Kelly's doing a great job. He sees me going a little crazy, mute it, and then you just handle that stuff. But
yeah, man,
I put the link in too before I forget. So all you got to do, if you don't want to call, hit that link in the chat and it'll drive you right into the show. We'll get you on and just have a good time. Like I said, we just want to, there's only so much more we could talk about. We can't dissect everything now. It's like we just got to wait for the draft. So we wanted to have a chance to just kick it with the fans and have a good time.
Yeah, that's right. Now I'm gonna say something here. I address something here. Ultra Cowboy. I know that I'm gonna start calling you Ultra Hater because that's what you do is you hate on everybody. But Jones is more explosive than Zeke, man. You go to the Walgreens and find your nearest drug test and take a drug test because how many yards did Jones rush for this last year versus how many yards did Zeke rush for? Because it ain't even close. It ain't even the ballpark. Jones couldn't even get on the field with Kansas City.
No.
Kansas City didn't even have a running back till they discovered Pacheco could play, and they put Pacheco in. But at the beginning of the season, Jones couldn't even find the field.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the hell you've been watching because
No,
he still got something.
I'm not opposed to them if they want to get, if Robinson were to fall to them or if they get a running back. It's a business. That's what I always say. I'm a fan of the team. I love the players. I'll always love Zeke, whether he's here or not. But I understand it's a business, and that's just the way it goes. But you ain't gonna tell me Jones is a better running back right now than Zeke
Hell
is.
no. And you know what? I know.
I'm in camp. I've seen Jones play.
Yeah, we got eyes. We got eyes, man. We got eyes between the two of us. We got 4 eyes, and we done seen this. We done seen the shit. Look, Zeke may not be the $20 million back. He may not be a $10 million back. May not even be a $5 million back. But he's still better than Jones. I will take Zeke over Jones all day long.
Yeah,
all day long.
Yeah. So anyway, but no, just talking about we're just shooting the stuff about the Cows. So looking at the division, look at the moves the Cowboys made. Look what the Philly's done. What the Giant. I mean, really, if you look at it, everything's kind of Philly lost a couple defensive guys. Dallas is pretty much. I think they're better than they were last year. I think they definitely upgraded. I think the Giants really didn't do a whole lot. Yeah, they re-signed Jones and they franchised Saquon, but they bring in Paris Campbell. I mean, the Waller's a good tight end, so that was definitely an upgrade for them. And probably the best thing that's happened to Washington. I don't know if it's official yet, but I think this could be the worst news for the NFC East is we're going to lose Daniel Snyder as an owner. Maybe they're going to get their crap together. And the funniest thing is the owner that looks like is going to get it, I think, is Josh Harris Group. They own their owners of the 76ers, which is interesting.
Well, that may not be a bad thing then, because I mean the Sixers, they're like the lovable losers of Philly. They're just another franchise up there in Philadelphia that loves to lose. So
how do Philly fans feel about that? I mean, they're so passionate about their team, just so loyal to their team. They got an owner owns a team in Philly, then he owns a team in Washington. So
yeah. Bring them on down. Bring them on down to Washington. I mean, if they're bringing some of that Philly loser magic, then go on and bring them on down to Washington. We'll be fine with that. But you know what? Dan Snyder's been a lovable loser for a long time. But still, that being said, and this should really spurn these fecal fans over there, these filthy fecal fans, is that the Commanders still got more Super Bowls than filthy.
I know.
More than filthy. So
isn't that embarrassing?
And they hadn't won embarrassing. I mean,
I think 87 they won. What 87, 82. But that's fine. So I just looking at this division, you got to give credit. Philly's a returning, division champs. They're going to be the team to beat. There hasn't been a repeat winner, and what are we going on? 15 years now,
or something like that.
Long time. It's going to be the Giants. They caught everyone by surprise. I don't know if they catch people by surprise next year. Washington, I still think they're a little ways away. Philly they're going to be tough, and then of course you got us. Most importantly, the thing that I think is concerning for the NFC East is you want that number 1 seed. You saw how important it was.
Yep.
NFC East schedule having to play the AFC East. That's not something that's going to be exciting for getting that, making you feel good about getting that 1 seed. So they're going to have their work cut out because you could get a team like San Francisco. You don't know what's going to happen with the Rams. You don't know what's going to happen with Seattle. You don't know what happened, the Cardinals. They may end up with a little bit more of a cakewalk of a schedule depending on that. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. And will that NFC East, because I think Dallas and Philly are the 2 powerhouses in the NFC. You throw San Francisco in there. Do you see anyone else that, I mean, you have your Cinderellas, but I'm just talking about legit that you feel very confident in that could jump into that group?
So here's my thing with this is that, and I'm not being a hater here when I say this. I'm going to try to be as objective as I can. When it comes to Philadelphia, the reason I do not think that they're a favorite anymore is because of how many free agents they lost. They lost a lot of free agents on that defense, and you cannot lose that many free agents on defense. And they weren't just free agents, they were impact players. I mean, Hargrave is an impact player on that D line. They lost some muscle, and they're not going to be able to replace all what they lost in the draft. They may be able to get one or two pieces here or there, but I mean, they lost some pieces, okay? So I'm not buying in on Philadelphia. I don't think that they're in there. The team that I will say that might actually, and I think the one thing holding them back still is going to be their quarterback. But the New York Giants, man, is a sneaky team that's added some pieces to their offense. Their coach, the job that he did this last year is great. Now we'll see if he can repeat this next year. But like, I mean, the Eagles are just, I don't know. I think they'll still be a good team. Don't get me wrong, but I think they're going to have a fall from grace this year. I don't think you're going to see that team be the great as they were last year. I don't think you're going to see Jalen Hurts play at the efficiency that he played with last year. So I think there's going to be a drop off. I mean, the Cowboys have got to be, in my opinion, one of the top 3 teams that can compete for the NFC Championship. Period. When you look at the playmakers on this team, when you look at the moves they've made in the offseason, we haven't even had the draft yet. So we still got pieces we can add to the draft. Absolutely. I think it's San Francisco. I think the Dallas Cowboys are there. And I think probably the Detroit Lions. It looks like we lost my host. Now I'm on solo. Where'd Mike go? Mike done left the show and left me rolling it solo. That's like leaving the kids with the keys to the car on a Friday night when it's full of a 30-pack of beer. That's just not a good idea. But let's keep this thing rolling until Mike pops back in the show. So look, I'm not going to give any of the NFC East teams too much love other than the Dallas Cowboys. But I think that they've got some. It's going to be an interesting year. I'll say that it's going to be an interesting year. I think that the Dallas Cowboys are the best team in the NFC East right now with the moves that have been made, with the free agents that have been lost with Philly, with the free agent acquisitions that we have gained on our side with the Cowboys. I think right now the Cowboys are the favorite, and that's before the draft even happens. And everybody knows that the Cowboys have the best front office when it comes to drafting. They simply do. If you look at what we have done, if you look at what the Dallas Cowboys have done over the last several years in drafting, look at the talent they have brought through these doors, from Travis Frederick to Zach Martin to Tyron Smith. I mean, it goes on and on with the people that we have drafted. The Dallas Cowboys front office can't be denied. So we're going to hit some home runs in this draft. We're going to get some good players. So yes, Dallas Cowboys, the prohibitive favorite in the NFCs for me, and one of the top 3 in the NFC. Mike, while you were gone, I did throw in Detroit Lions. I think the Detroit Lions. I think the Detroit Lions are a team that's out there. That's a scrappy-ass team, man. And last year they came on strong. I think they'll continue that momentum coming into this next year. I wouldn't have thought that when they got Jared Goff. When they got Jared Goff, I was like, well, that's like a rebuild. You know what I mean? But that's a team that's good. Look, you left me MIA though for a minute, man.
I know. You know what I did? I've warned people. Technology is not my strong suit. Now you see the nice little backgrounds. You see all these things. God damn, what are you talking about? You do. I pay a buddy, or actually I pay him in beer or favors to hook me up with some of the graphics with his art person. So it's friend favor. So I'm not a technical person. I must have hit something. I went to hit enter to hit that, to drop something in, and I shut off the internet. But we got another caller.
We got another caller. Caller number 9. Let's come and bring him on into the show here. I love this. It's like being a part of a radio talk show. We just bringing people in here. Caller number 9, you have won tickets to the Cowboys Cave. You're now going to be a guest on Talking Cowboys with Mike and Kelly K9 here. Speak your voice and let it be known what you're thinking about. While Mike is doing this, though, guys, listen, I want to know in the chat. I'm seeing a lot of the chat. It's popping off down here. We killing the draft. Goff brought heart to the Lions. They did. What does everybody else think? Who is the favorite in the NFC, in your opinion? It could be the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not going to be mad if it's not the Dallas Cowboys. But what do you guys think? Who are some of the favorites here in there? Pop that in the chat. We'll pop some things on while we're getting this next caller in. Who we got, Mike? It's not going on yet, but that's all right. We'll keep this thing rolling. What's up, David? Welcome to the show, big guy, man. We got some people. The chat is popping off today. Your boy's over here sipping some of this. This, I don't know, it's a Japan whiskey. It's a lot lighter and it's a good whiskey, and it's got me feeling frisky, ready to talk some smack to some, to some haters. But there's only a couple of haters in the chat. Most of these people good. So who we got? Who's caller number 9 to the request line?
Hold on 1 sec. I did it. I forgot to put him on there. Say that again, Kelly. Say that again.
I said, who we got? Who we got on caller number 9 for the request line? What we talking about today? Welcome to the show.
It ain't Jerry Jones. I'll tell you that much.
Well, there's only one Jerry. There's only one. But in this case, there may be two.
Only one Jerry. He might be the better Jerry. We don't know yet. We're filling that out.
Who's in the house?
Yeah, who we got?
Feedback is here with the royalty of all royalties. Man, it's good to talk to you guys.
No,
what's
man,
happening, brother?
Jumping on, man. We appreciate you jumping in. So, how you feeling? Get the business out of the way. How you feeling about the Cowboys off season? Did they do enough to make you feel confident going into the season, or you still got some concerns?
I think all of us are feeling pretty darn good. We finally, after a few years of just kind of sitting, enjoying the movie from the very top rafter with our little popcorn, way off in the distance, watching all the other teams hit the big screen and be like, man, he got in that, he got this, we got nobody. We got a draft and we got our guys. But no, we actually made a few good moves this year, and I'm pretty damn excited about it. Good CB to go along with Trayvon. Very good little duo right there. You can stop any kind of deep threats. We still got our safeties. We're good on that end.
Yeah.
Not to mention who's up front, our front seven. Show me a better one. I dare you, okay? And then you go ahead and on the offensive end, you make a few good moves, and then you go get another weapon for Dak, which is what we need. That's what everybody cried for. Not enough people to throw the ball to. The Amari Cooper thing was a complete you-know-what in the toilet. No one's ever going to understand that one. That's the end of that. So we got guys. Hendershot, I'm telling you, he's going to come up. He's a good tight end. He's going to get he's already practicing on Dak's field. I mean, he's straight. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
You got CD. He's finally got his feet in with everybody was questioning if I'm number one. There's no longer a question. I'm number one. Let's go. That's it.
Yeah. And CD got
we
bigger.
Get Michael Gallup back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's looking. Yeah,
he looks thicker. His legs.
Dak,
he always looked so skinny when he came out, but man, he's put on
Dak
some muscle
too. Dak looking this is time. You got a very small window, like Dak said in his little interview about 3-4 weeks ago. The time is not what we're doing for now, the future. It's right now. It's this minute right now what we're doing. The guy is out there on his own damn time, off book with my guys. And I'm still trying to get it done. With the work that's showing when we're sitting in an NFC championship game and it's 31-31 and we got the ball with 28 seconds left on a 3rd and 15. Let's go. Mm-hmm. Here we go. That's what you did way back in April. This is what we did. Look at each other and say, we got this. Let's go. No pressure. Just go get it. That's what makes a championship team. That's what gives you the ring. Stuff like this, what you're doing in April, what nobody's going to talk about. They ain't going to talk about this in training camp. They're going to, no. We've already been doing this. We ran 1,000 routes before we even arrived at training camp.
Yep.
So this is all good work.
It is all good. You're getting me hyped up. I'm ready to run through the door, man. What are you getting started?
I'm telling you.
Let's get it. No, I agree. I agree with that. They made moves, and that's what encourages. That's what is giving Cowboys fans the optimism is that we went and we addressed areas of weaknesses. We knew we had a problem at wide receiver. We went and addressed that with Cooks. And look, Cooks ain't coming in here to be the number one. Everybody, for the people that are sit there and try to, there's a few Only a few, but it's a negative few. There's always
Who
some.
the hell's saying that he's coming here being number
There's
one?
always the negative
Ain't
Nancy
nobody doing that.
that'll never be happy. There's always the negative Nancy. You ain't never gonna make them happy no matter what you do. But look, Cooks is not coming in there to be the number one. He already said he's coming in there to play on the other side of CD. He knows CD is the number one. CD is the dog. But guess what? Cooks, that man can cook at the number 2 spot. And he can cook at the number 1 spot. I mean, he's a good wide receiver. He is better than good. He's had, I think, 6 of his 8 seasons have been over 1,000 yards. It's not like the man can't produce. The man is a game changer because he's got that over the top speed. He's a dynamic talent. And then you got Gilmore, who also is capable of being a number 1 corner that we're going to have playing as the number 2 corner on the other side. We had the weaknesses. We lost Anthony Brown. We saw what that did. We brought in Gilmore. We have addressed these areas of weakness. We added some depth at some key positions, offensive line, bringing in some guys, may not be starters, rotational pieces, but these are things to be excited about. And we still got the draft to go. So they're not done yet. And there's still maybe a couple of moves after the draft that might be made. So that's why Cowboys fans are optimistic, and rightfully so. And don't let anybody piss in your lemonade and try to tell you it's beer. You throw that shit back in their face and let them know we got reasons for optimism because number 6 is right around the corner.
Yeah. No, I agree. And look at it. Ultra Cowboy finally agrees with you. God damn it, what the hell's going on? This thing's gonna blow up.
Hey, look, if I can get Ultra Cowboy, aka Ultra Hater on board right here, then we got some things moving right here. Give me the phone and let me make some moves on draft day. Let's get it going.
Yeah, no, man. I appreciate it. See, man, it's awesome to have you calling in.
Absolutely.
And appreciate all the support, man. All right, man.
I got to get your butt out to training camp.
I know we got to make it. Hey, we got to make it happen.
We've had that hookup for a while. So.
This training camp, you DM me because some things have changed at work. I might get a little bit more freedom, and I would love to get that worked out for real. So
I got you.
Let me know.
We're gonna make me, my wife, and my little 3-year-old. He's right here building trains next to me. We're getting out for a game this year. We're getting out to Dallas for a game.
Well, let me know the game too. Let me know the game.
We're getting out there. So.
Yeah.
Right on.
Cool, man. I'll see you.
Hey, I'll leave you guys with this. I let you guys ponder this. It's already been talked about, but I'll leave it as my little deal. Hashtag bring back Zeke. Come on now. Let's go.
I love it, man. I appreciate it. Take care, brother.
Thanks for calling, man. Hey, man, Fred Jones, Cuts by Jones. I believe in cooking with cooks. If anybody can talk about cooking, it's my man Fred Jones over here because that man can cook. I've seen the posts. Look, one of these times, Fred, when I get down there to San Antonio, I know you down in San Antonio. My sister lives right across the street from San Antonio, the UTSA, man. I am coming to your spot. I'm going to let you cook for me, man. I'll bring the beer. You provide the eats, man, and we're going to get down, man. And my man here does some amazing work, some amazing metal work, man. Some cuts that if you guys don't know and don't follow on Twitter, Cuts by Jones, the man is phenomenal. And some of the stuff that he's made, I've seen some of the pieces. I got to get a piece for myself. The man does phenomenal work. So shout out to my man, Cuts by Jones, Fred Jones, man. We're going to chop it up one day in San Antonio. So we got another caller. They just keep rolling in, man, and I'm loving the energy on the show.
My boy Jones, I got a piece in my real man cave. This is the mini cave. He does beautiful work, and definitely you guys got it. You got to link up with him and get something done because it's
absolutely.
We got our caller. I think we're good. Let me see. Let me get give me a second. There we go, Kelly. You should be good to go. David,
right, who we got here on the phone?
What up, my boys?
What's going on, man?
What's going on?
How you guys doing?
We're loving it, man. Well, I'm not doing as good as Kelly. I don't know how many drinks he's had so far. I gotta get on that train.
This Suntory whiskey is kicking pretty good, man. This is better than advertised. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot, man. Who we got the pleasure of talking to tonight?
That shit's good, dude.
It is delicious.
Whiskey's fire.
It is delicious, man. It's delicious. What's up, man? What's on your mind?
What are you guys thinking? What are you guys thinking draft wise? What are we doing here?
Oh man, what you think, Mike?
I'm thinking. I just have this sneaky suspicion if a playmaker on offense is falling, I think they're going to take a playmaker on offense. But I would love to see him. I think Kelly's talked about it a lot. Get nasty in that defensive tackle, get stronger on that line. So I would be happy to see him beef that up a little bit. But I got a sneaky suspicion they might be making a move on offense.
Yeah, I kind of think so
Which,
too. I kind of think so too, just because of what they've done on the defense. I think they've done some good things on the defensive side of the ball. Now, don't get me wrong. I think they're in a position to go either route, offense or defense, just because of the moves they have made this offseason and put them in a position to kind of swing either way. But we all know Jerry. We all know he likes to make a splash. Man, I'm just telling you guys right now, there may be a video of me running through a brick wall right there in Union Station, because I'm going to be there for the draft. If Bijan Robinson is on the board at 26 and the Cowboys draft him, or if the Cowboys move up a couple spots and grab him, I'm running through the brick wall, man. You're going to see me. You're going to see me do it, because he's the kind of guy that will be a game changer on this offense at running back. Don't get me wrong. I love Pollard, but a guy like that in our offense, it's like getting Zeke again back in 2016.
And a younger one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like getting 2016 Zeke. So I'm all for it.
here,
What are you thinking, David?
I'll tell you right now, if Kelly's talking, I'm just complicated because I'm watching the screen and talking at the same time.
There's probably going to be a delay. So
yeah, a little bit of a delay.
Yeah. Anyways, no, I'm with you. Listen, if Bijan's there, I think you got to take him. But I will say this: here's the thing that you want to know. This is going to be heartbreaking. I hate to say it, but I think he's going to end up in freaking Philadelphia. That's where I think he's going to go. I think he's going to go with that pick, their second pick there in the second round. I think they're going to, or the second pick in the first round, they're going to end up taking him, which I'm cool with. Hey, Mike, I'm with you. I think here's my thing. You build a football team in the trenches. Our team back in the day was built in the trenches. When we were dominant, we had an outstanding offensive line that powered people. I'd like to see him go get an offensive lineman. I know it's not the pretty pick. I know it's not the fancy pick. I know it's not the sexy pick. But if we really look at the whole big picture and we go pick up a guard or somebody that could be guard swing, that, Avila, one of that kid from Florida, the kid from OSU, or from Oklahoma, I think that's the pick. I think that's the pick we have to make, just because that solidifies this offensive line. Everybody in this offensive line is going to be 3 years or younger, except for Martin. And Martin's a dog. We don't have to worry about him. I think that makes us the power team that we really need to be. I think Mike McCarthy wants to go into a run West Coast run scheme power football team. Have Dak dink and dunk, take a little bit of pressure off of Dak. Put him back to where he was his rookie season, because that's what it was. They took that pressure off of Dak his rookie season. That's why he had such an outstanding year, because he didn't have to do too much. He just had to get the job done. And I think it's going to be time possession, ball control. It's going to make your defense better. And I think all around, that's where they need to go. Now, don't get me wrong. If Bijan falls there, I think you have to take him, because he's a top 10 talent.
Yeah.
But I just don't see that happening. I think he ends up being gone before we get there. And then I think we go get a guy, that kid from, I love the kid from Alabama. I think Gibbs is badass. I think I like the kid from Kansas State. There's some running backs there. But too, Malik Davis deserves a shot. That guy, Malik Davis last year, I don't know if you guys watched the Green Bay game last night. But Green Bay, they replayed the Green Bay Cowboy game last night, and Malik Davis tore it up. He did. So I don't know. That's just my thoughts. You guys wrap it from there.
You know what? You're preaching to the choir when you talk about offensive linemen. If the Dallas Cowboys if they ever draft offensive linemen in the first round, I'm not going to question it, because show me the last first round pick for the Dallas Cowboys and the offensive line that's been a bust.
No.
Yeah, I mean, they've been home run hitters.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, they hit home runs when they draft offensive line in the first. So if they go offensive line in the first round, I have no complaints. And here's my thing. Don't get me wrong. I would like the sexy pick. I like the sexy, but I like the pick that is an impact. And Tyler Smith, we saw what he was able to do because when Tyron Smith went down, I didn't have a lot of hope in the young rookie. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought, man, I don't really know about this kid, if he's going to be able to step in. He got no preseason snaps at left guard. He goes right to left tackle, and the kid is instantly a star. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys and Will McClay, that front office, they just know how to draft offensive linemen. So if they go O-line, man, I'm completely fine with that because I've been saying it all offseason. Build the trenches, build the trenches, build the trenches. Offensive line, defensive line. I'm all for that, man. So you're never gonna hear me bitch and complain if they go with a big nasty D tackle in the first round. I'm fine with that too. The thing about that is it's not very deep. This draft is not very deep when it comes to guys like that, though. If you want a big guy like that, defensive tackle, an impact player, you're probably gonna have to get that in the first round. Maybe in the second round. Maybe there's still a couple guys, but there's not very many of them out there. Not a deep draft for that. But like you said, when it comes to running back, man, I've been looking at some of these running backs. There's some nice running backs out there, man. I've seen some guys that could definitely come in here and contribute. I do like the Vaughn kid from Kansas State. Dude kind of reminds me of a Darren Sproles type running back. The running back from UCLA, I think it's Charbonnet. Another good guy.
Yeah,
I mean, there's some running backs out there, man, that are pretty nice that you can get in some of the later rounds. So absolutely, when it comes to that, if Bijan's there, grab him. If not, hey, I'm not going to cry about it. We still got some talent on the board.
Hey, there's a lot of rumors about Myers, the tight end from Notre Dame. Are you guys good with that? Like, what's your take on the tight end situation? Because me and my brother, he's a diehard Cowboy fan too, and I'm like, no, man, no, I don't want no tight end. I don't want a tight end. What's your guys' take on that?
Well, I mean, I think Dallas has always had, and McCarthy loves tight ends. We've got two young, good tight ends, but I think in the kind of the offense he likes to run, I mean, you can never have enough. If one of those guys were to fall to him, then jump on him. Now, I like my man Mallory from the U. You can get him real late, and he was a tough kid in Miami. But no, there's some good tight ends out there that they can get. I don't want to see it early, though. I know, they're talking a lot of talk about the Georgia kid, and there was another one that a lot of people are high on. I'm sorry, I'm not when it comes to college football, the names I'm not the best with. Teams I know more, but I like Ferguson. I like Hendershot. I think those guys can elevate to be the 1 and 2. So I don't want to get another high draft tight end. I'd much rather see him address another need, either if they want to go offense with a running back, offensive lineman, or even a receiver. You can never have enough receivers either.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same line as Mike. I mean, I really like the tight ends that we got right now, man. I do. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean,
I agree.
If there's a guy out there that that's a can't miss project, but I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, so often you hear about tight ends, and now maybe it's the system, maybe it's this or that, but I mean, remember all we heard about, Pitts from Atlanta when he got drafted, and I mean, what has he done? I mean, say it's
exactly. I just had this conversation with my brother this morning.
Yeah. I mean, they called him a generational talent. They called him a can't miss prospect.
Exactly.
I mean, he's done nothing. Nothing.
Yeah. I mean, he's good. Don't get me wrong, he's good, but he's not changing. He has not lived up to the hype. I mean, and he's had some injuries now, and like, I mean, he just, he's good, but he's not a guy that if you told me I had to take him in the first round, not taking him that high. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to tight end, kind of backing off that.
Yeah, we've watched a lot of football in our years. What are the two toughest positions to excel in the NFL, right? When you come into your rookie season, wide receiver, tight end.
Yeah.
Like those are the two toughest positions to come in and step in right away and be a difference maker. And to me, in the first round, you have to have a difference maker. It has to be an impact player right away. And the only thing I see impact player that Dallas is going to get at that position, at that spot, is going to be a offensive lineman or the kid from Pittsburgh. If he's still there, that kid's a stud. I like him. He's Errol Donald. He's got that same type of philosophy in my book. But I tend to agree with you guys. I'm shying away from the tight end position. I'd rather take the O lineman any day of the week. Obviously, if Bijan falls there, I'm not going to be upset with that. But I'm off the scale on the wide receiver kick. I mean, unless you're getting a CD Lamb type guy like we got, that just happened to fall in our lap. But that ain't going to happen. I don't see that happening, honestly.
No.
But
No.
Anyways,
Well,
hey, I'll let you guys
yeah,
go
we
so you guys
appreciate it,
can
David.
get some other people on.
Yeah, no, thanks, brother. I appreciate
David,
you.
thanks for calling in, man.
All right, man.
Hey, we'll talk to you guys soon. I'll listen in.
All right, take care, man. Bye. All right, we had a caller from Austin.
Hey, and just real quick, I'll address that. He said Pitts had 1,000 yards as a tight end his first year. You are right, he did, but he had 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
One touchdown.
He did. I mean, he's good. Don't get me wrong. I think maybe the team he went to, he didn't have a great quarterback. I mean, that doesn't help. I mean, the guy's a freak. I watched him at Florida. I mean, the guy is good. Don't get me wrong. I'm at least, and I know you're saying the same thing. We're not taking anything away from him.
No, I'm not taking it away. I'm just saying if you told me right now that we could go back and do that draft again, I'm not taking Pitts in the first round. I wouldn't if I'm and like I said, it may be because of the quarterback situation. It could be. Hey, your boy Jimmy D would be good to talk on this.
I know.
Mr. Falcon, he'd be good to talk on this. But I mean, when it comes to tight ends on the first round, man, I'm out on taking a tight end in the first round of this year's draft. Me personally, I mean, even the Kincaid kid, I've heard some stuff about him, but I've heard he's got some back issues. I like the tight end group that we got right now. If we're going to draft tight end, do it later. Let's get your boy from the U in here and see what he can do, Mike. But hey, we're bringing in another call right quick. We're going to keep this rolling. Ultra said he'd give up his 26th for Kyle Pitts. I don't know, man. I'd have to see more from the guy, man. I would have to see a little bit more from him. I don't know. I don't know that I would do that just yet. I'm not denying that the man has talent and the measurables are there. But I mean, like I said, when he was first drafted, they talked about him that he was a generational talent. A generational talent's going to get you more than 1 touchdown his rookie season. I don't care who he's got it throwing the ball.
I agree.
You know what I mean? I just don't see him as being that guy. Now, don't get me wrong. If they gave us the opportunity of getting Pitts on this Dallas Cowboys team, hey, I wouldn't deny it. But I'm not giving up my 26 for him. Not the first round 26 pick. Not doing that. Not me personally.
No, I mean, I might think about it, but I don't know. Only because of the contract. You only got because you lost 2 years of it. But yeah, it would. I don't know if that's an area that we're desperate in that I would do that. I think if we can shore up, like I said, offensive line, defensive line, something like that. But we got a caller, so I felt bad because my man Winston was trying to call in. How you doing, man?
Hey, great. How are you guys doing?
Good. Sorry.
What's going on, Winston?
Sorry we couldn't get you in.
Hey, Nine, what's up?
Oh, not a whole lot. Hey, man, for those of y'all that don't know, this gentleman right here, I call him everybody calls him Wink. That's my brother-in-law here on the phone, big diehard Cowboys fan. He's a Longhorns fan. I don't hold that against him, but because family is family.
Now,
wait a minute. Were you a Longhorns fan when Miami gave them a beating in the Cotton Bowl, or were you too young for that? I don't know. I don't mean to start off.
That still hurts. I'm a Cowboys fan over 50 years, so we're talking diehard.
Okay, I love. I had I don't know if you caught. I had Dennis Erickson on, and we talked about that Miami Texas game.
Yeah.
It was great for Miami, of course, but yeah.
So. I love what historian you are, the Cowboys, and when you guys have legends on. Man, it's awesome. Love those old school Cowboys, man. Talking the history and the games. Just those great shows, y'all.
No, I appreciate it. And we'll give a shameless plug before we get rolling. We got Dave Campo, 18 years with the Cowboys. He was through it all in the 90s. And so he's got a lot a history to share about. He was there when Jerry did the call, and he had to stay on the staff with the other guys. So it's going to be interesting to get his take on all that situation. But yeah, definitely. So how you feeling about the Cowboys now, off season?
I love it. I love the off-season moves. And what I wanted to talk about was what I think they're going to do, not with particular players, but in this draft. See, I see Dallas going heavy on offense. Just as a trend, Jerry seems to, he kind of gets obsessed on something and then goes all in. Like if you notice the last couple of years, we've been real heavy on the defense, and we're pretty set there now. And so in the West Coast offense that Mike likes, you need your skill players. And that's where I see that Dallas is kind of taking a little step back is in the skill position. So I think you're going to see 5, 6 on the offensive side of the ball come in. We need a tight end, running back, another wide receiver, and of course that O line too. So I'm not sure about the order that they'll pick, but I think you're going to see Jerry go real heavy on offense this year.
Yeah. And I would agree. And one of my thoughts of it with is McCarthy. He's taken over the offensive play call. And I mean, it's hard to say that a guy's kind of on the hot seat with back-to-back 12-win seasons, but he's kind of on the hot seat. So I think he's going to make sure that his offense is going to be tight. So he's going to fill any weaknesses that he can throughout the draft. He's going to push hard for.
I think so too. And I think as far as that defensive tackle position goes, it's not something Jerry typically likes to spend high picks on. And when he has spent a second or third, it hasn't really worked out the last 5 to 10 years. So I think they'll try and do another free agent grab with a guy after the draft. Just bring in a couple bodies instead of going early on a defensive tackle, although I see it as a position of two. I just think this time, remember all those years when we drafted, seemed like everybody on the offensive side of the ball? I think Jerry goes back to that again.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that because of the fact that McCarthy is heavily involved in the offense now in terms of offensive play calling. You know, obviously Schottenheimer is going to have some there, but I mean, hey, look, if you're expected to cook a 5-course dinner for some very important guests and your ass is on the line here, you want to be able to go to the grocery store and buy the recipe. You want to get the ingredients, man. So, you know, Mike McCarthy's over there telling Jerry Jones, look, you got to let me get the ingredients, man. You want me to be Gordon Ramsay. Don't send me to the Dollar General, Jerry. Let me go shopping at the Whole Food store, man. I need some good shit here to throw in this. I agree though. I think that, you know, and also Dak Prescott though. You know, you look at this thing, man, Dak Prescott, this is kind of a crucial time for him. You know what I mean? He's in between, you know, kind of this deal that he's got currently, the second deal. So, I mean, it's crucial for both Prescott and Mike McCarthy. So I think Jerry wouldn't be doing him any favors if he didn't get them some more help offensively. I can't agree more. I think we do go offensive heavy in this draft.
Yeah. And I like, to tell you the truth, I kind of like Davis as somebody to come out of nowhere this next year. And maybe even, you know, we might have a guy like Dennis Houston. That was a UFA wide receiver that played real nice in his rookie season, in the preseason. You know, he could turn out to be somebody that makes a few plays for us this year. So I'm real hopeful.
I'm hopeful.
We need those players real bad.
No, and you need, I was going to say, like, I know I'm going to get Ultra's going to go ahead and say something as soon as I say this, but I'll do it anyway. Someone like Jalen Tolbert,
Right.
You know, Jalen Tolbert, you've been seeing him in the offseason. He's saying the right things. He looks like he's working hard. If he can just be the four, I mean, and have that potential. I watched him at South Alabama. I saw him play. I mean, he was a difference maker and is a difference maker, I should say. He's got, you know, he can high point the ball. He can do a lot of things. So if you can get some production out of him, I mean, that's just like having another draft pick, because it was kind of a wasted pick last year. Didn't get anything out of him. So that would be one of the things that would be a benefit. So, you know, hopefully that works out.
You see wide receivers a lot that don't come in their rookie year and make a big splash. I mean, it seems to be kind of a hard position with all the routes that some guys don't always, you know, start off with a bang, but then they can come on a little bit. So it wouldn't surprise me if he stood out.
Yeah, it seems to be one of the biggest bust positions, you know, when there's a lot of receivers that just fall off the map that were drafted high. But hey, I'll break the news to you, because you're my old school Cowboy fan, so you'll appreciate. I don't know if some of these younger guys do, but we got Eugene Lockhart is going to be coming in pretty soon.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
nice.
Big fan of him. You know, linebacker. I forgot what his nickname was. It was like the hitting machine or something like that. But he would just lay people out, and he would tackle everybody. I mean, he was a tackling machine. That's what it might have been.
I remember him from in the day.
Yeah. So,
and I'll be looking forward to Dave Campo. Listen, people forget what a stellar defensive coordinator he was. I mean, as a head coach, he had nothing to work with.
No,
but he was a great D coordinator.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he was a coordinator of the Super Bowl 30, but he was secondary coach. You know, he worked in all phases of the defense, and he's a smart guy, and he sounds exactly the same. I'll say that. So when he comes on, he sounds exactly the same.
Really?
A lot of energy.
Really?
So the beauty. People ask, so why do you get these guys on? Some of these older, because they don't care. They say what's on their mind. They're not going to sugarcoat nothing. So we could hopefully get some of the true stories kind of out of out of them of what happened, because it always intrigues me.
Man, when you had Barry Switzer on, the guy was telling that he could remember plays from 30 years before, what the coverage was on defense, the play before the interception. I mean, some of those guys are really smart.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And Campo is a guy that spanned, I mean, his career with the Cowboys spanned over, several years, And when he finally got that head coaching gig, I mean, let's face it. I mean, look at what he was working with at quarterback. That's when Jerry Jones was sitting over there like, did you see that kid that Drew Henson? He can throw himself a baseball. There's not much difference between a baseball and a football now. Like, I mean, he didn't do him any damn favors when he was drafting himself some quarterbacks.
Right.
So, I mean, that's, poor guy got fucking saddled with guys that were working at that should have been sacking groceries, and instead they were getting sacked on the gridiron. So, but Dave Campo is is a guy who's got good relations with the Cowboys. I know I'm looking forward to talking to him. And I know Jerry Jones has spoken about, before how fond he is of Dave Campo. Things he's done for the organization.
Nice.
He's a good guy, man, with great ties, and it'll be an interesting interview and a guy to have on. So, and we're having him live, right?
He'll be live.
So guys, y'all got to tune in.
8 o'clock. We got to do it 8 o'clock. He's older now. So
a little bit earlier, guys, but y'all gonna have to tune in, man, because you guys can jump in the chat, get a chance to maybe ask a question for Campo, or kind of get here and be a part of that. So that's gonna be a really great thing we got going.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I appreciate you jumping in, man. Thanks
for calling, buddy.
Hey, man, love the show, you guys. Keep it rolling.
All right, man.
All right, man. Appreciate you, bud.
Catch you later.
See you.
All right.
And that's it. And I was gonna say, Kelly, the disclaimer I do have is for everyone in the chat. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit the subscribe. But when we have these Cowboy guests on, and I know we have fun with some of these guys, my man Ultra and stuff, don't be disrespectful to our guests, because that's how Len. It's all fun when it's just us. But when we have our guests, man, show them the respect. They come into the cave and they share a lot of knowledge and a lot of history of the game, whether it be Cowboys or, we're trying to get other guys that weren't Cowboys. I've been reaching out to Philly, and let me tell you, as soon as I say Cowboys, and they hang up on me. So,
and hey, you know what? And here's the thing: is that we do this. It's Cowboys related content. It's fine to come in here and to have an opinion and to talk some intelligent football and to have some disagreements. Ultra, we've had some little back and forth. You got your thing with that. But listen, the people that are coming in here, if you're coming in here just to troll and all you're doing is talking shit and saying the same stuff. Look, the guy Carl earlier, he got booted. He gone. I blocked him from the shit. If that's all you're coming in to do is troll, we ain't got no time for that. You're bringing nothing to the content. And it's not because he's an Eagles fan, because any Eagles fan that wants to come in here and debate and talk football and say that Hurts is better than I'm all for that conversation.
Yeah, just give us your side. We'll give you ours and go from there.
Right. But if the only thing you're saying is y'all ain't won anything in 27 years, you ain't won nothing, Dak sucks, blah, blah, this, like, you're bringing nothing intelligent to the conversation. So you're going to get the fuck out of here. You ain't going to be allowed back in. You're going to get blocked. Me and Mike tired of seeing that shit. But look, everybody else that's in the chat, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, with Ultra, I know how you feel about Dak, but look, you haven't gotten disrespectful with it. You've at least brought some intelligent shit to the chat, and the rest of you guys, we love having y'all in here. We love the calling in and all that, but we can't, be respectful to the guests, and if you can come in here, have a good take, and just try to be intelligent with it.
Yeah,
so
and Ultra called in the show one time. I mean, he's a good dude.
Yeah, no, I've got no issues with him, man. I mean, we disagree, and that's fine. Disagreement is a healthy part of football.
The two things I know I get from him is he hates Dak and Tolbert's booty. If I bring up Tolbert's name, I just wait for that little chat to come in there, and I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I got no issues with it.
That's
So,
right. That's right.
but anyway, I gotta say, Kelly, this is, I don't know your thoughts, but when I wanted to do a podcast, this is what I envisioned. Again, I love just talking Cowboys. I love interacting, and I know some people get nervous on phone calls. That's why we tried to do you can just jump on the stream and Chris broke the ice there. But I mean, you guys can do that through your phone or through your computer if you want to do that as well. But yeah, I'd love to do this more because I enjoy it. I think this is what I love. I don't want to sit there and just talk the whole time. And Kelly, we love talking. I mean, you love talking too, but we love the interaction. It just makes it enjoyable. And again, I'm a fan. Kelly's a fan. This is what it's all about. We're not coming in here to break down film on you. We're giving you passion. We're giving you what we feel and what we see. And hopefully you guys give us what you see, what you feel, and we learn from each other and just have a great time. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and it's fun, man, because if without the people that are in the chat, and it don't matter if it's 5 people in the chat or if it's 50 people in the chat, without you guys in the chat, man, the show don't work, the show don't run. We do this for you guys, and I love interacting with it. I love seeing the chat. I love reading the comments, and hey, whether I don't respond to them or whether we don't, I read every single one that comes through here. I mean, there are some times when it gets to going so fast that sometimes I can't read, but I try to read every single comment that comes through here. I appreciate it. I love having the people call in, and this is what, like you said, this is what I envision, the fan interaction, because look, at the end of the day, whether we agree or we disagree on things, we're all fans of the same team. We're all fans of the Cowboys. We all want the same thing. That's Super Bowl number 6, Super Bowl number 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's get it rolling. But, we all want the same thing. We all want this team to win. We're all passionate about it. So whether our opinions differ or not, we're all on the same team. And even for the people that aren't, even for the people that come in here that may not be fans of the Cowboys, you're a fan of football. And I'm a fan of football. So, I may not like certain teams, but I do love watching football. I'm still going to watch Thursday night game, Monday night games. If Cowboys ain't playing in it, I'm still watching because I love football. So stop drinking that whiskey. It'll help you keep up. Yeah, that's right. When, after a few glasses of this, everything just starts kind of blurring together in the chat. It looks like a bunch of blob words, but
I know what I can't. I have a hard time seeing anything. But I put that thing up there. If Ultra Cowboy is going to be at the draft, I demand. I want a picture of you guys. I want the love fest. We gets all this chat and Dak hate. I want the love fest. I want you guys to make sure you find each other and get it. Say what's up, get a beer together, take a picture, and that way we can show it on the show after the draft.
I will be at the draft, and you know what? I might make it easy for Ultra to find me. I might be sporting this number 4 Dak Prescott.
That's what I want to see.
I might be sporting this number 4 Dak Prescott jersey, and then we're gonna have to shake hands and take a picture with a beer, shaking hands. You have to take a picture with a man in a Dak Prescott jersey. It might just eat you up, Ultra. I don't know, but I'm gonna be there in Kansas City. I'm excited for that. Thursday, 2 weeks from today, it's coming. It's coming. And then, once the draft's here, schedule release, and then training camp, the season is right around the corner, believe it or not. It really is. It's right.
No, it is. It is. And I'm gonna be on a couple podcasts around the draft time. So I don't know if we probably not gonna have a show ourselves, but I'm gonna be bouncing around. Kelly will be live. Kelly's going to record some clips. Hopefully, I want to see some stuff, and then we'll have a recap show. And like I said, we're working on next week. We got Dave Campos, so that'll be a lot of fun. And I think we're gonna try and lock in Eugene Lockhart for Wednesday, and then we'll have our Thursday draft recap show. And that's really when the fun starts, because now we got our guys. Now we start figuring out, all right, what do we got to work with? What do the Cowboys have? How we really feeling this team coming together? Then the schedule release comes out. Then we all start marking the calendars, figuring out where we're going to go, who's going to what game. We got to figure out what game Kelly's going to, what game I'm going to, and make sure, we hang out with Nix and J Tuck and all of those guys. And I forget the caller who said it, and I wish I could remember. I'm old. But I agree with him 100%. I don't watch any of that garbage on network TV with all of that stuff. It's all hate. It's all BS. Yeah. You go on YouTube and you got Law Nation, you got West Coast, you got you know, J Tuck, you got Knicks, you got, I mean, I don't want to leave anyone out. The Can Fan Cowboys, and I've been on their show. You've been on their show. They do great stuff. I'll mess up
Yeah.
names if I start talking too much. Help me out, Kelly. But there's great people and great
It's a lot.
content creators
It's a
that
lot.
do a lot of great work. There's another one. It's Owen, but I forgot the name of their show. I mean, younger guys. I mean, they do. It's all great stuff. So definitely spend some time on YouTube and find those. Hit that subscribe, get the alerts. More importantly, do that for us if you're not already. Help a brother out, help some brothers out, I should say.
That's
But
right.
it's just great stuff, man. I'm so glad that I found this, and with Cowboys being able to, you know, to connect with Kelly and build a friendship, and with J Tuck and all that, and Knicks and stuff. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And there's a lot of great Cowboys content out there, and not all of it is going to be not all of it's the same, and not all of it, believe it or not, you know, some people just think that, you know, you're sitting in there and it's all pro Cowboys and that there's no negativity, there's no criticism. Look, I'll be the first one to tell you, if I see some, you know, if I smell shit, I'm not going to tell you it smells like roses.
Yeah.
I won't. And so when the season comes around and we're watching Cowboys football, if I see something that don't look right, I'm going to point it out. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I don't sugarcoat it after the games when I do my, you know, post-game reactions. So I'm not going to do it in season, man. You're going to get honesty from both me and Mike.
Yeah.
It's not always going to be pretty.
Yeah.
If there's a team out there that's better than the Cowboys, looking better than the Cowboys, I'm going to give that team props. As much as it killed me last year to do it, I mean, I said it all year, man. There's plenty of people that said that I didn't give the Eagles credit. I gave the Eagles credit. I said they had a great team. I thought they had a great offensive line. Thought they had a great D-line. I thought Hurts played very well. He had a great year 2 jump. But can you keep that up is the question. Can you keep that up? You know what I mean? And so, I mean, I've never been one to sit there and act like it's all Cowboys or nothing, because I understand that there's 31 other teams out there. So I'll give credit where credit is due. But yeah, there's some great Cowboys content out there, and we're just thankful that you guys come to us.
Yeah.
You know, every Thursday night. Mike's on Monday nights when we do our Wednesday nights. When you guys come in, you guys tune in. You know, it's a privilege to have you guys in here, and it does not get taken for granted.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We got a question. I figured I would grab this one. What has to change to make a serious run other than Dak playing better?
For me, it's play calling in crucial situations.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was like that for the last 2 years. I felt like that Kellen Moore did some good things. I'm not going to say he didn't, because you can look at the offense, you can look at the numbers and stuff, things that he put in. I thought he did some great things, but I thought when he needed it the most, when we needed plays in crucial times of the game, I thought that he came up very short.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that's been the difference. I think that's been the difference time in and time out. And you can sit there and you can talk and you can point to Dak against San Francisco, but I'm talking more than just the playoffs. I'm talking about games that could have decided had been the difference between us winning the NFC East this year and being a number 1 seed versus us being a wild card, because we didn't, because there wasn't that many games that separated us from the Eagles. It was only a couple of games. You think about games like the Green Bay game.
Green Bay and Jacksonville.
You think of the Jacksonville game. I mean, those games could have decided our seeding and put us in a totally different spot, because we all know the cakewalk that the Eagles got to the Super Bowl. And as great as a team they had, it's undeniable that they had a cakewalk. So for me, it's play calling. It's absolutely offensive play calling, because I think that Dan Quinn and its defense, I think that's on cruise control. I think we're fine with them. I think it's on the offensive side of the ball, and I think it's how we call plays in crucial situations. And we'll see what, the ball is in McCarthy's court now. We'll see where that goes. I don't know. What do you think, Mike?
No, I mean, offense, I think you hit the nail on the head there. So I'll go on the defensive side just to get another view and get your opinions. It just seemed like in times we got pushed around a little bit. So to your point of getting nasty up front and getting those tackles, maybe add another defensive tackle that's got some size and some nastiness to him. I think the other concern that I had was it just seemed like Parsons, and he's a great passer. He's our best player, so don't get it twisted what I'm going to say, but it just seemed like he wore down a little bit because he was rushing and he was on the line so much. So, losing, losing that extra edge rusher that with Gregory, obviously, if Sam Williams can take that next step up, and then to me allow Parsons to just roam and come at all angles and come off the ball to where he's not hitting those linemen too much and getting worn down. I think that's something that I could see them make it. I think our defense is really good, and I think if we get something like that, I mean, our defense could be at the elite level, which I don't say much when it comes to defense. When I'm talking about elite level, there's only about 3 or 4 defenses I can remember at that elite level. But I think Dallas and with Quinn and that defense and what we've got can get there just with a couple tweaks if it works out.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And as far as the defensive side and with with Parsons, he did start to wear down. The thing about Parsons is, he's not big enough to be on that defensive end side every snap. You know what I mean? And even though he didn't play a lot, he didn't play. I think he still played. I don't remember what the numbers were. I'd have to look that up. I don't remember if it was over 50% or if it was under 50%.
It was a lot, like on the defensive line. I know,
but I feel like they looked at it like that he was one of their best pass rushers, so they had to put him on the defensive end. But here's the thing: is that if you get a Sam Williams at producing at a high level, and DeMarcus Lawrence can still produce at a high level, if you get those two guys, those are two really good pass rushers to have on either side. So if you can get those two guys rushing and getting pressure consistently on the left and right side, and then you can put Parsons as a wild card where he's coming out from the linebacker position.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Then he's not, then it's not such a physical thing where he's not taking such a beating. He's not going up against these offensive linemen as much and taking a big beating, because let's face it, man, at the size that he's at, he's not built to be going up against these, 300-pound offensive linemen, and you don't want to cut a guy like that. You don't want to cut his career short by consistently doing that, because eventually that's going to lead to not only wearing down, but injuries. We don't want to see a guy like
and he was just getting nicked up. I mean, you always someone's holding it, and it just took its toll on him. And he's a beast. So I just think that we just need one of those guys to step up. But I think what makes a difference too is if you get that defensive tackle and you get one of those guys, and they're pushing forward, and that's going to open things up for the edge as well. If you get a dominant guy in there that can make a difference. So,
you get a guy like Kalijah Cansey out of that Pittsburgh that we've been talking about. A lot of people have been talking about. You get a guy like him, and if he pans out to be what people think he can be, I mean, that can be a guy that just completely changes the whole defense, because if you think about that, we're good from the outsides. We're good getting pressure from the outside, and I won't say that we can't get some pressure on the inside, because look, Odigizua, I mean, that guy is going to be a problem, and he's going to continue to be a problem. So he's a good guy to have on the inside. So not that we can't get some pressure from the inside, but if we can get a little bit more, if we can add to that defensive tackle position. I mean, when we were talking about maybe adding a free agent guy earlier, a guy I still look to, man, is Ndamukong Suh, man. I think he's still a free agent.
He's long in the tooth, but I begged for him last year.
He's long in the tooth, man. But look, I mean, we've talked about it before, man. Every team he's been on, the past 3 years, he's been to the Super Bowl on every team he's been on. So I'm just saying, as a guy that can give you a little extra pop and as a rotational piece, just kind of like, when we brought in Peters, it wasn't like he was going to be a full-time guy. He was a depth and he was a rotational piece. Guys like that, with that experience, playoff experience, Super Bowl experience, can be the difference. When it comes to the playoffs. So
one of the prediction with Pollard I had up there, go 1,800 all-purpose yards, 1,200 rushing, 600 receiving. Man, that sounds good. I don't know if that'll happen. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if that'll happen, but that'd be a big year.
That would be a huge year. That would be a huge year.
I just think the way they're going to run their offense, two-headed monster, I just don't think he's going to get the opportunity for that much. But I could be wrong.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see what they do, though, man. It really will, because I mean, like I said, I don't disagree with the caller earlier that was talking about Malik Davis. I do think he needs to get a shot, and I think he will get a shot. But that being said, I think the Cowboys would be unwise to not address the running back position in the draft. Like, if you just sat there and you're like, we're good with what we got, Pollard, Malik Davis, Ronald Jones, we're good. Like, I think that's putting you in a similar situation as where you were with wide receiver last
I
year.
was gonna say that's a flashback to Cooper, where they
Right.
said they got when. I mean, I wasn't totally against the Cooper thing because I thought they had a plan.
Yeah.
Where I got upset with is there was no plan. If your plan was to draft a wide receiver and he was good, that you're putting all your eggs in that basket, that's really risky, and it backfired badly on him. And
Right.
we beat that horse. We beat that horse down. But it's yeah. So anyway, hopefully they will address it. There are some running backs in there. You don't have to go first round. Maybe you don't have to go second round, but I think they need to get somebody in there that'll complement Pollard.
Yeah.
And because again, he's coming off that's a big injury. Now he should be okay, but that's a big injury for a running back. Cutting and this and that, and breaking
Well,
bones. It's not the
and
best.
my and thing about it is, and actually, Tuck actually did it on it about the running backs. There's a lot of running backs in this draft that are very similar to Tony Pollard. There's
Yeah.
running back package or that does what Zeke does, like the bigger, powerful, stronger running. But there's a lot of smaller running back. The Deuce Vaughn is a smaller type running back. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of those type of running backs out there that are similar to Tony Pollard. They're the speed. They're the catch the ball out of the back. It's not a bad thing. You can still get a running back like that. But we got to get a running back in here, in my opinion, that can pass block as well. A bigger guy, physical guy that can get those tough, dirty yards. Because say what you want about Zeke, he got the tough, dirty yards. He did. You line him up on the goal line, he was getting a touchdown. You look at all of his touchdowns from this last year, they were all basically on the goal line. They're from like the 2-yard line, 1-yard line. Like, you give it to him and he's not going to be denied. He got the tough yards and got a lot of those third and short conversions. And we need a guy like that because, I don't think Pollard's a guy that load. We just don't.
And I know this is all media BS. You got to get some clicks and stuff, but I mean, do you have any thought of Henry or Dalvin Cook? Would that make you okay?
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I still think Henry has gas in the tank, even despite the injury issues that he's had. But it depends on what that asking price is. Because I would need to see that. If those guys get cut, outright cut, absolutely, I think you'd be, ill-advised not to look at him. But I think there's a lot of other teams in the NFL that'd be looking at him too. And I don't think Tennessee or Minnesota is just going to outright release either of those guys. I think they're looking at trading them. And at this point, what are either one of those backs worth in terms of
I wouldn't give anything for. I mean, it'd be a low draft pick because it's
I mean, Henry has been used and abused in terms of, I mean, they've ran that dude into the ground. You want to talk about a guy who's literally gotten the ball, like who's been 80% of the Tennessee Titans offense. It's Derrick Henry, and it's starting to show, and it's wearing on him. So either one of those guys, though, are the kind of guys you're looking for when you're talking about power style backs. You know what I mean? It's especially Henry, who's a guy
that dude is big, man.
Dude, he could, and I'm telling you, man, I don't think he's done. I think he can still be I think he's still going to be 1,000-yard back this year. And I think he's a guy who can be, a very powerful running back. But again, you don't want to give up a lot of draft. You don't want to give up really any draft capital, in my opinion, to get a guy like that, because those guys are in the tail end of their career. You might get a year or two of high productivity out of them left, but it's not much. We've seen the running backs and their shelf lives, and it is what it is, man. These running backs don't have long shelf lives, man.
They don't, and when they hit a wall, it's a brick wall.
Exactly.
And I mean, it's not a gradual decline. It's like, what the hell just, a year ago, but it's like, what the hell just happened just last, so that's the hard thing with a running back is you don't know when it's going to happen, but when it does, you might as well give it up.
Well, yeah. And, and the thing is, when Zeke left, I can guarantee the conversation between Zeke and, they didn't really make him an offer. They didn't really ask him if he wanted to take a pay cut. They didn't make him an offer. They were just like, hey, we're going to cut you loose and we'll readdress it should the time come. I think probably what they told him was, Zeke was probably like, look, I don't really want to take a vet minimum. And I've heard rumors that Zeke has been unhappy with the lack of interest that he's got because, look, let's face it, nobody's going to sign him before the draft. If
No,
Zeke,
because
if
they're
Zeke
going to see how they do in the draft. If they
That's
get it.
right. And if Zeke gets picked up, honestly, in my opinion, I think Zeke's a guy that doesn't get picked up until probably training camp. Unfortunately for him, I think it's going to be one of those things where one of these teams has a running back that goes down in training camp and they're short on running backs and he's going to get brought in, but it's not going to be for a lot of money. I just don't think there's anybody that's going to pay a whole lot of money for Zeke. And would I like to see him back in Dallas? Yes. I just don't think the Cowboys are interested in it.
Yeah.
I think he would be. I just don't think Dallas is interested in it.
I think he might end up in Cincinnati because I think Mixon's getting a little bit of
Joe Mixon. Yeah, the Joe Mixon thing is interesting. That would be worth watching. He could definitely do that. But if he does end up somewhere, I still think it's going to be after the draft.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
What they get through the draft.
If Cincinnati can get security and grab a running back in the third or fourth round, that's a hell of a lot cheaper and younger. They'll go ahead and do that. So to your point, he may not get signed till training camp. He may not get signed till preseason. He may be one of those after week 1 veterans they can go on or whatever it is for the contract. It may be something where he's signed early in the season and see what happens. But I hope. I love him as a player. My daughter, just like Fred, his daughter loves Zeke. My daughter loves Zeke. So we're sad to see it come to an end. But the guy over my shoulder, I watched him play with the Cardinals. So if he can't stay in Dallas forever, then nobody's safe.
Yeah, and you know what? Before I know we're hitting an ungodly mark here. We're at the work.
No, you're going to start thinking we're Knicks here. We're running 5-hour shows.
I know we're starting to run Knicks numbers here, but I just when you say that thing about Emmitt Smith, he was one of my all-time favorite players. I got Emmitt Smith. I got number 22 tattooed on my arm. I love Emmitt Smith. But when he went to the Arizona Cardinals. I remember when the Cowboys played the Arizona Cardinals and he was on the other side of that roster. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. When Roy Williams hit him up and broke his collarbone, I was yelling. I was happy. I was happy.
Same.
I was like,
it's funny, the same thing.
I was like, that's what you get for leaving the Cowboys. You know what I mean? And like, I just, because for me, it's one of those things where it's the Cowboys. Yeah. I don't love the name on the back of the jersey. Now, don't get me wrong. I grow attached to some of these players, and I do. I'm like, hey, I love this guy. But if they got a different jersey on and they're playing for there's no love on this side. Not until you retire. Now, when Emmitt Smith retired and he came back and signed that contract with Dallas Cowboys, he retired. Man, he had me choked up with that retirement speech. I remember sitting in my car listening to that speech, and I'm getting tears in my eyes, getting choked up because that's how much I love that guy, and I know how much he gave to the Dallas Cowboys. But if you're not wearing that star on your helmet, sorry, man.
Man. It's the way it is. It's just like I said, I got to figure out what I'm going to do because if Zeke signs with another team, all the stuff has to go out of the cave. I will not allow a player on another team going to the cave. Now, when he retires, he'll go back in his spot because he's got some spots in the cave. There's no doubt about it. But it is, and it's weird. Like that Emmitt Smith thing. It's so funny because I had the same feeling, and he was my favorite player. It was Tony Dorsett and Emmitt Smith, and I always love running backs. So running backs are typically my favorite player on a team. This is the first year where unless Cowboys draft like Robinson or something like that. I'm kind of like, man, I don't know who my favorite player is. Is it Tank? Is it Part? It's more on the defensive side.
Yeah.
So it's just because Pollard, I like Pollard, but he didn't like kind of grow on me like Zeke did. I like the guys that they're drafting. They're the number one guys. So I might have to reevaluate my fandom and figure out what I was going to do because I don't have a Pollard jersey and I'm probably not buying one. So
yeah, well, I'll tell you what, man. I don't know that. I don't know that I'm going to buy any more running back jerseys. I feel like every time I buy a running back jersey, they're gone within a couple of years. I bought my Zeke jersey about 3 years ago. And I like to get a jersey where it lasts a long time. You know what I mean? So I guess I might just start buying like offensive line jerseys. You know what I mean? Because at least those guys, I buy a Tyler Smith jersey or something. You know what I mean? Like nobody wants to buy the offensive line jerseys. That's not sexy. They're like, they're like 70.
The funniest thing is you can eventually bring them back. So I used to throw away the jerseys after they left. I was like, and now I'm like pissed. pissed off because, like, man, I had, my Dez jerseys I could have kept, because now you can wear them again. Like, I get him a Smith jersey, I get
Oh, I
Aikman,
still got my Dez jersey.
the best jersey was I had Antonio Bryant 88. He's the
Oh,
forgotten
yeah.
88 that a lot of people
Yeah.
don't. We need to try and get him on here, because he's the forgotten 88
Yeah.
that in Dallas, and he had a couple good years, and he went on in Tampa and had some good years, and then he was I think he was in San Francisco too, but he never lived up to the potential. But he was an 88, and I threw away his jersey, and then we drafted Dez Bryant. It would have been perfect. It was the one time where you can recycle the jersey because the last name's the same. That's why I was hoping.
Well,
we
hey,
get
man, I'm thinking about taking that 21 and putting tape on the back and putting Gilmore on there. You know what I mean? I can get a Gilmore jersey now. I got that's not Zeke, that's Gilmore. This is Gilmore on the back. But you know what? I when you talk about wide receivers, I got me I have a Miles Austin jersey. Had me a Miles Austin jersey.
I had one.
Yeah, I had a Miles Austin jersey. So when it comes to some of these, it's funny though, because I felt like for a while that I had like a jersey jinx, because I'd buy a jersey and literally like within a year or two that play, I bought a Roy Williams jersey, and within like 2 years he was off the team. Miles Austin, he was off the team after a couple of years, like 1 or 2 years after I bought the jersey. It's like Marion Barber. I had a Barber, and it's just like every time I buy one of these jerseys, like they're off the team, and I'm just like, God damn, I'm gonna quit buying jerseys. I'm jinxing these son of a bitch.
Now, what Roy Williams jersey did you buy? Defense or offense?
The defense, never the offense.
I was gonna say,
no.
You would never. Now, let me ask you this question. So, Bijan Robinson's a Texas guy. Would you buy his jersey, even though it's Cowboys? Would you support him and buy a jersey?
Oh man, that'd be tough for me because how much I hate the University of Texas.
I think you hate Texas more than I hate like Florida State or Florida. I mean, you got a real hatred.
Pretty deep hatred.
Yeah,
it's a pretty deep hatred. I'd consider it. I'd consider it, man. But you know what's funny, because I've been on board and I've talked about Bijan, that I'd be on board with it, and I get a little bit of shit about that. But it's
didn't do that one. I didn't do a Quincy.
No, I didn't do Quincy Carter. That's a guy that probably would be on to getting on the show. That's on social media. I know.
No, well, we ought to reach out. Let's plan on. Let's talk about that.
Quincy would be an interesting guy to get to, because he kind of transitioned from into the Romo area, which obviously I probably wouldn't talk about that with him. But if not for the failed drug test, Romo might not have actually made the team that year.
We could put it in a tactful way.
Yeah, we could maybe talk about, some of the decisions that were made with the roster led to, you know what I mean, or something like that. But no, I never had a Quincy Carter jersey. But Quincy Carter's greatest, the lasting memory for me was making the playoffs in 2003 against the Carolina Panthers. I was the most excited that I had been in, because the Cowboys are back in the playoffs, baby. We're back, and we just got a mud hole stomped in our ass, and he played like dog shit in that game. And
remember what Parcells said that season?
What's that about the dollar quarterback?
No, it was like they finally got over 500, and he's like, you can't call them losers anymore.
Oh yeah,
I mean, we went through. That was the first time they had a winning record since the '90s. You know what I mean? It was a long.
Because I think that was coming out of the Dave Campo years, where he had the consecutive 5-11, 5-11, 5-11, 3 straight 5-11 seasons. It was like, how are the, because remember when we got out of the for a while, it was the 8-8 years. Not recently, it was like Cowboys 8-8, 8-8. What are you Cowboys going to go? They're going to be 8-8. Back then it was, what are the Cowboys going to be? 5-11.
5-11.
5-11. 5-11 years. Yeah, I remember those. They weren't good years, but
no. Yeah, David LaFleur. That was a hand, but I was he the one that was handpicked by Romo? He worked him out, not Romo. Aikman worked him out.
I think so,
because that was the one around Tony Gonzalez. I think he was in the draft with Tony Gonzalez, and we were trying to get a tight end to replace Novacek, and Aikman personally worked out these tight ends, and that was the one he wanted, and that didn't work out. I'm almost positive it was him. My head, but yeah. So anyway, hey, we had a great time. I mean, we're an hour and a half in. I've been on a plane. I was in the giant country this week working, so I had to, I wasn't enjoying myself. But we had a great time. Next week, obviously, we got our Monday show. Wednesday, it's college night. Charlie Ward, Heisman Trophy winner, Florida State. Gonna talk about Miami. Jay Tuck's the Florida State guy. So I said, you know what? You took all that crap for the Miami when we had Malik Rozier on. I said, yeah, I'll return the favor. So I'm gonna have to sit back and take it because they took care of us and he won the national title. So we got that Wednesday, and then we got Dave Campo Thursday. So we got a back-to-back great interviews. Really excited about that, man.
Absolutely, man. And thanks, guys. I mean, we went, everybody in the chat tuning up, showing up to the show, calling in, commenting. An hour and 33 minutes is a record for me.
That's a record. That's a record.
It's a record. And you know what? And guys, just keep in mind, Mike over here is on East Coast time. So it's 10:34 his time. So it's a little bit later for him. It's only 9:30 my time. So, hey, thanks, guys, for tuning in. It was a great show. It's always fun with you guys, but shows like this, man, are what makes it all worth it because we really do love the interactions.
No,
I know I do, man.
You guys got to keep bringing the calls and keep bringing it, and even log in. Like we had the one, but I think even more of that. We wanted to try to see if it worked. It worked pretty well. We can do more of that. We want to interact, man. That's what makes an hour and a half went by and it felt like nothing.
Yeah.
But make sure you subscribe. Make sure you spread the word. Because, it's hard to get it out, on Twitter and all that stuff. There's just so many. I don't know what that Elon Musk has done to Twitter. It's not the same. I'll tell you that. It's not. Hopefully football season, it gets back. But I miss so many. I don't tweet a lot during the off season because I just don't have a lot to say. But I still like reading and commenting on others. And it just seems like so much stuff is lost. So make sure you guys follow us. Like, subscribe, do all that great stuff. But we'll see you next week, man. You guys take care. Peace
Absolutely, man. We'll see y'all next week.